In this video, we're going to talk about something called a mode, and what is a mode and why should we care about it. So a mode is actually it's a musical concept, first of all, but it's like saying you want to play a scale, but then instead of playing the scale from the root note, as we always do, we want to play starting from different notes within the same scale. So for example, if we want to play the C major, the scale of C major, we would just play it like this. But then if we want to play the same scale, still the same scale, but starting from let's say the D note, the next note, then it would be like so, and we can keep going. So you might be like, well, it's still the same scale, right? So like, why do we even care about this? We should care about modes for two reasons. The first reason is that when we use the mode to like solo over chords or like improvise over chords, it helps us to redefine a tonal center within that chord. So, for example, we can play the D Dorian mode. Dorian is the second mode, the second scale degree mode, which is this in the scale of C. Sorry. Yes. So this is Dorian, and we can play the D Dorian over the D minor 7th chords. So it would be like. So now we have redefined the tonal center to the D note as opposed to the C note. So like it's like we are like when we're soloing, we kind of like constantly want to go back to the D note. So it would be like. Something like that, yeah, I don't know, it's up to you. So this is the first reason. The second reason why we should really care about mode is that, actually before I go into that, let's talk about like how the first thing that I was talking about, which is that mode helps us to redefine a tonal center. So actually, the purpose of mode is that it redefines a tonal center within a particular chord. So, and this is kind of like a zoomed in version, because if we think about a bunch of diatonic chords, like a bunch of chords within the scale, within a song, right? We are constantly like gravitating towards the tonic, right? Like in the key of C, we would always like want to go back to the C, the tonic. So like if we look at the diatonic chords, kind of like with respect to the song, we want to like keep going back to a specific chord. But if we kind of zoom in at the chord level, it's like within that chord, we constantly not constantly, but like we want to gravitate towards that tonal center. So it's like a zoomed in version, So this is like the first reason why we should care about mode. But the second reason is that it helps us in like if you want to like solo over chords, it really helps us because it gives us more choices as to like which modes to play. Because as we will discover later, we can play actually like we can choose from a bunch of candidates, like candidate modes. Like we can choose from like different modes. We can choose them depending on your preference or maybe musical context. Like we can choose whichever mode that we want to play. Obviously, we can't just choose any random mode. We have to choose like certain modes, which we will talk more about later on. So yeah, so this is like why we should really care about mode. And with that said, I think, and actually there are two ways to learn mode, like series and parallel, which sounds like physics circuits. But I think the first one is easier to kind of like wrap our heads around, which is like thinking about all the modes within a scale. So I think we'll look at that first. Yeah.